Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Running Shorts podcast by Accelerate. Unfortunately, this week you've just got my dulcet tones and special guest Hugh Mackie. So hello, Hugh.
I feel very honoured to be a special guest.
Yeah, certainly special.
Yeah, very. My name's Hugh Mackie, and I would say at the minute I'm a track specialist. But I do dabble in a bit of trail running as well.
Yeah. So if we kind of wind it back a little bit, you're part of Team Accelerate as well.
Yeah.
You've been coached by Stu for
2.5 years.
Yeah. And yeah, we've ran quite a lot together over those years.
Bit too much, some would say.
Yeah. Sometimes just go for a run and don't say anything, but that's nice.
Depends how well your session's gone.
Yeah.
If you even say bye to me at the end.
Just get in my car and drive off. But Hugh is very modest. He's pretty rapid on the track. And pretty good everywhere else as well, to be fair. If we spin back even further, kind of how did you get into running? Have you always been a runner?
I'd say I started off doing like fun runs and things. So the first race I remember doing was Thurgoland Fun Day.
Ooh.
Fun run or something like that, which I did with my dad and I absolutely hated. So I didn't do that again until the next year. And then did another fun race with my friend who beat me by quite a lot, and I think that made me want to join the local running club so I could at least get to his level. And then started kind of running at running club, and then went into sprinting, which was quite a weird change, but I've always been naturally quite nippy.
Naturally quite fast, yeah.
And then a weird progression to where I am now. Bit of long jump, bit of sprinting, bit of middle distance, then into some fell running, and now back again into middle distance.
Is that kind of your favourite at the minute, that midday? I know you're 15, 3K is probably where you're...
Yeah, I'd probably say if I had to choose a distance, it'd be that 1500 3K distance.
Nice. So kind of bit of round the houses route. Do you still like fell running? Is it something you do?
Yeah, it's still something I do as much as I can. I'm at Loughborough at the minute for university, so not as many fells as around here, but I do get into the fells whenever I can, and yeah, I enjoy racing in the fells as well.
Nice, cool. And like you said, you've been coached for a while. Did your running change quite a lot since you started with us? So, what were you doing before?
It mainly just used to be junk miles, just 7-mile runs, just to make 50 miles, just to make 50 miles a week, and then sort of 100-kilometre bike rides every so often, and then found myself quite injured during lockdown when I had no other time. But yeah, then kind of joined Stuart and was surprised by how little I did to start off with, because it's kind of very much focused on that quality of training rather than lots and lots of training.
Yeah,
like we'd spend, what would it be, like 2 hours of just actually doing quality drills and warming up, cooling down, and then the session, whereas I think I'd kind of spend an hour doing maybe a 10-minute jog warm up, some 400-metre reps, and then 10-minute jog cool down, and then wake up and do a 7-mile tempo the day after or something like that.
Naturally,
yeah, I think it's definitely more intelligent, the training that I'm doing at the minute.
Nice, cool. You've definitely seen big leaps forward as well. Like your 3K time especially has dropped quite drastically.
Yeah, I think by a minute, just over a minute in the last 2.5 years, which is quite impressive. And then
went to schools last year on the track.
English schools, 3,000 metres, which I didn't even dream that I could make any of the standards before I started training with Stuart anyway. And then 1,500 metres again, that's gone down by 40 seconds in the last 2.5 years, and I think it's still going to go there as well this season. But it's just finding the right race, isn't it?
Yeah. Which kind of takes us on to a little bit. You've been struggling slightly, or started the year a little bit on a back foot with some niggle. If you want to explain a bit what happened there.
Moved to university, and obviously it's a completely different setting to what I'm used to. So I was kind of having to fend for myself, as if you would, and without Stuart kind of telling me what I should do, what I shouldn't do, I was left to roam free. And I joined in with a couple of the Loughborough sessions when I wasn't 100% fit, which I think led to my downfall. So I was ill until Christmas, which I think, looking back on it now, was probably COVID, which I managed to stay away from for a while. But
as it just before you went to uni as well, we'd gone on a little training camp, hadn't we, where we probably both pushed a little bit hard.
That put me into a very deep hole of overtraining.
Then went to freshers, then got a bit ill.
Then got a bit ill, kind of did a couple of sessions before Christmas, then I think it was over Christmas or just after I went back after Christmas to university. I see a bad correlation here. Maybe I should stay at home.
Just have mummy Mackie look after you.
Started Daddy Harvey. Started struggling with my lower side of my back, which I think is related to an injury I sustained when I dislocated my hip or something a couple of years ago. Well, that's what we think it's stemmed from. So yeah, I kind of struggled with that a little bit, which was just annoying because it was kind of 2 weeks of training, and then I'd have to spend 3 days off, and then I'd be able to get back into it. But it was just kind of almost like a mountain. It was up and then down and then up and then down. It was not like this gradual incline that I wanted. And then that kind of just before Easter was probably the worst it got. I had to spend, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks where I could barely walk on it because it was that painful, and so it took me a while to get back into running. So I saw the osteopath, saw loads of people here. No one could figure out what it was. And then I think it was Oliver kind of went into a bit more depth and just thought about, well, where's this stemming from? Why is the injury happening, and why does it keep occurring?
Because like you say, you could string together a couple of weeks and then
and there was no
flare up a bit too much.
There was no clear link. There's no, oh, you've done a trail run and then it hurts. There's no, you've done a track session and then it hurts. It kind of was just a time thing rather than anything. But I think the main thing that I'd overlooked at university was just that mobilisation and stretching and things like that, which I'm very vigilant on at the minute, and touch wood, I'm doing a lot better anyway.
That's good.
So yeah, the main difference for me since I've got fitter is doing mobilisation on a daily and just getting that as part of my routine, and then just occasionally coming and seeing Oliver for a massage. And just trying to keep on top of everything really.
Nice. And comeback wise, I know you'd been training for a couple of weeks, raced, and it kind of went quite well. Not to where you want it to be, but it's that big picture. If you've only been running for 2 weeks,
so
pretty good.
I did podium 5k at the start of, I think it was early February, so it was probably a week or 2 weeks after Christmas. So I'd had a couple of weeks of good training here over Christmas, and then a week at uni, and then went to the race in less than ideal conditions. So I had to get, I think it was a 2.5 hour journey for me to get from Loughborough to Leicester, which should be a 20-minute drive.
Yeah, it's not far away.
But I ended up having to walk to the station, then get the bus around the houses to actually get to Leicester. So by the time I even got to Leicester, I was less than prepared for it. And then it started chucking it down. So I'm just getting all my excuses out. Excuses out now. But yeah, I still ran a PB, which was
pretty
kind
good,
of
isn't it?
evident of the shape that I'd been in before that. But I think I can definitely go faster, and it's just focusing on fast now, and then I'll drop into potentially a couple of 5Ks at the end of this season. I'm looking at maybe another podium 5K or any other fast 5Ks.
Nice. From there, you've kind of dropped down a little bit already to 15 training, and you maybe not doing the same volume you were before, but definitely hitting the quality pretty hard with.
So over the times when I'd say my back was bad, I was doing a lot of kilometre reps, so nothing really fast, nothing really hard. But then went back after Easter, had a chat with Stuart, and we both agreed that due to a lack of that cross country and base training over winter, then we'd just be better going for a bit of faster, because although you do need that endurance, then it's not quite as important as something like a 3k or a 5k. So yeah, went in to do 1500 metres. I think I opened in a 25-30 second PB, so can't complain with that.
Pretty decent, isn't it?
and won the race.
Even better.
Yeah. And then that's the only one that I've done this season, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Was supposed to do another one, but got a bit of food poisoning before that. So
yeah,
life's never a flat road, is it?
No, it keeps it interesting. Just to show kind of how much wheels you have, what did you close the last 4 in?
I think it was a 58 close or a 60 close or something like that.
Pretty spicy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was kind of one of those where I've not done it in a while, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't blow up before the end, and then turned out I had a bit left.
But again, still nice.
Got into a sprint finish, but I think I always have a bit of a sprint finish.
Yeah, I'll attest to that.
As we know from the first ever 3K time trial that me and Harvey did.
Yeah. Like I said, we ran a lot together at this. We've got very different ways of racing, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'll go from the first 400, you'll go in the last 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like you're on a good trajectory. Looking forwards, do you have any big goals? Are you wanting to stick on the track? Are you wanting to get back on the fells when you were a little bit older? Do you see where you?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you at all where the next kind of 10 years is going to take me, whether I'll still be racing 1500s or 5Ks. I think most likely it'll be moving to 5K, and kind of when I get older that endurance will come a bit. And I know endurance for you is probably, you're going to be a marathon boy and half marathon boy, whereas endurance for me is, I think, 5Ks, because I've always found a 5K distance quite hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not a middle distance event for me. It's that trying to keep that pace high for the whole 5K is harder. But my strategy is just to get faster, so I'm running for shorter.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Bro, I think Harry's got some quick fire questions for you to get to know you a little bit better.
Because Harvey's already done them in one of the last episodes. Hugh, all down to you. Summer running, winter running,
Summer running.
road or trail.
Or track. Or fell.
Oh.
Again, we've got to quickish 5 questions.
Fell. I've got to stay where my heart is.
Favourite song currently?
This is a gold man.
You see, it could be anything, vary from a bit of Harry Styles to a bit of Arctic Monkeys.
Having been in the car with Hugh, his playlists are incredibly eclectic.
1 minute you want to cry, next minute you want to sing. What have I been listening to a lot?
Now we're going to questions.
No, just slow questions. I'm liking a bit of Lily Allen at the minute.
I had Lily Allen on the other day.
Did you? Yeah. How weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favourite location to run?
It's got to be Lanzarote. Our holiday last year was pretty immense.
Yeah. When our easy days were still sessions, it was amazing.
Yeah. I think
nothing contributed to how we were both broken.
Yeah. Funny that.
Yeah.
Does that mean another one's booked in too?
Yeah, we're going again next week.
Yeah, Harry, you're invited as well if you want.
Favourite pre-race meal?
I'd have to go with the standard beans and rice.
Hugh is also a psycho that he'll have cereal on the way to a session in the car 10 minutes before and have no issue with it.
No, you see, that's not become as good recently after my food poisoning. But yeah, I'm quite lucky in that I can just eat like half an hour before a session. I can eat like a full Sunday dinner and then still be completely fine.
Yeah.
Running by yourself or in a group?
If I'm doing a session, I'd have to say in a group, but that doesn't happen very often because if it's longer reps, Harvey will drop me.
If it's shorter reps, he'll drop me.
Exactly.
There's like a prime distance of about 1200, otherwise we're running on our own.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say I quite like a long run on my own because I stick my headphones in. Sorry, this is not very quick fire, is it?
No.
I'll get back to some quick fire.
Right, well that's it, the quick fire. You're that quick.
Favourite session?
I like it when we do like 500 and then 200 and then 100.
Nice little cut
around
down.
the Olympic Legacy Park. Or I like a little pyramid session as well, where you start off at a K, maybe drop down to 2. But my old favourite session used to be in Thurglen Tunnel, where we used to do 25 by 400 at reducing rest. So this was obviously before I started training with Stuart and before my big injuries, but you'd go down to about 5-second rest.
So you're doing 800 reps?
Yeah.
800 reps with a turn in.
with a dead turn. But yeah, those used to be quite hard, but enjoyable. Because I think once you'd done it, it was a very big sense of, I've done it.
Yeah. Pretty good session. Yeah, Harry, have you got any other questions? I know it's been a bit of a shorter episode,
That's about it today.
Yeah, I mean, we had British Champs last weekend, which I don't know if you saw. It was quite good.
I watched a couple of races, yeah.
It's a bit of a
middle
mix-up.
distance races were. I think the main event that everyone was looking at was the rain, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Some of those 100 metres and 1500 metre races. And
Yeah, it looked pretty damp.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's many hundreds that get raced in a storm.
Yeah, no, that looked really cool.
Some cool photos come out of it, which is nice. And kind of a bit of a switch up, like James West won the 5k, which I don't think many people saw coming.
No. Well, I think there's been quite a lot of.
Laura Moore didn't win the 15.
Yeah, in the middle distance, I think there were quite a few surprises, weren't there? Because I think with the kind of depth of men's 1500 metres, especially, I don't think anyone. I know Neil Gawley is fast and fit, but I wouldn't have put him up there as the favourite or the person that would win.
Yeah, no.
And then equally, Matt Stoney was kind of up there, wasn't he? He was very close to the winner. But I
mean that's what you want from champs races. Isn't it? If it's strung out too soon, it gets a little bit dull.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then US champs as well, which is always pretty strong fields.
Yeah.
Like
they all looked rapid as always.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, unless you've got anything else to add, we've had a bit of a short one this week while Stu's away on his holidays.
Yeah, my quick 5 questions were actually too quick.
Yeah, you were just too efficient. Bro, nice.
Have we asked Harry the quick 5 questions?
We've not. No, Harry's never made it onto the couch. He's a little bit shy.
Not yet.
Maybe he can be a special guest next week.
Hopefully, yeah, that's the dream. Anyway, thank you for coming on. Good luck with the rest of your running.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, nice to train with you again the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's been very enjoyable. Nice to be back.
See you next week. Don't forget to like, comment, all of that good stuff. Nice one. Bye.